I didn't wake up planning to start a Cold War inside my own house. I woke up wanting coffee, fresh air, and a peaceful Saturday with the guys. The same fishing trip we've been doing since we were 20, and thought adulthood would be easier than it actually is. I got up before the sun, quietly made coffee so the machine wouldn't sound like a dying robot, and walked into the kitchen to check the list in my head. Gear ready, cooler ready, snacks ready, good mood ready. Anna, my wife, was already awake, which was my first warning sign. She's not a morning person unless someone made her mad the night before. But I didn't remember doing anything, so I relaxed too soon. She was sitting at the kitchen island, scrolling her phone with the same face she makes when the Wi-Fi drops to 1 bar. "Morning," I said. She lifted her eyes at the speed of a broken elevator. "You're really going?" I froze for a second, confused. Yeah, it's Saturday. Fishing trip, remember? We talked about this all week." She let out a sigh so loud, I'm pretty sure we lost a few roof shingles. "Fine," she said, "do whatever you want. If there's one sentence married men fear more than 'we need to talk,' it's 'do whatever you want.' Because buried inside those 4 words is a hidden contract, a trapdoor, and at least 3 potential emotional explosions." I still kissed her cheek, partly out of habit, partly because I'm not scared of her moods. She didn't kiss back. She didn't even lean a millimeter. I might as well have kissed a tax document. But whatever, she'd warm up later, I thought. Cut to 2 hours later, I'm with the guys. There's nothing glamorous about our fishing trips. If someone filmed it, it would look like a group therapy session for people whose hairlines are in decline. We sit in foldable chairs, make fun of each other, argue about who's the worst driver, and try to catch fish that definitely laugh at us underwater. At noon, I took a dumb selfie with a fish that looked like it regretted being alive. I sent it to Anna with the caption, "Caught your evil twin." No response. Not even the 3 dots. Not even a LOL. Just digital silence. Okay, maybe she was at the gym or showering or doing something that already annoyed her, and I simply didn't know about. By 3, I texted again, "Heading back soon? Want me to grab dinner on the way?" Message read, 0 reply. The classic marriage combo. Saw it, ignored it. Pretended it didn't exist. My buddy Mark glanced over my shoulder and whistled. "Oof, that's the look of a man about to sleep on the couch." "I'm not," I said. "Worst case, she'll ignore me. She loves silent treatment more than she loves iced coffee." The guys laughed. I did too, but with that little internal twist like, yeah, maybe I'm actually in trouble. By the time I drove home, I had convinced myself everything would be fine. Maybe she'd been tired. Maybe she'd apologize for being distant. Maybe we'd watch a movie. I walked in and instantly understood the word delusion. The house was dark. Not cozy dark. The creepy, you forgot your anniversary kind of dark. No TV, no music, no lights. Just the soft hum of the fridge and the heavy aura of you messed up. "Anna?" I called. No response. I took a few steps inside. My shoes felt too loud, like I was breaking into my own home. The living room glowed faintly from her phone screen. She was sitting on the couch, wrapped in a blanket like a burrito of judgment. "Hey," I said gently. She didn't respond. She didn't even pretend to hear. She just kept scrolling like she discovered a whole new section of the internet where husbands don't exist. I stood there waiting, then cleared my throat. She finally flicked her eyes upward, gave me the coldest half-second glance known to mankind, stood up and walked out of the room without a word. Not even a noise. Just the swish of her blanket dragging behind her like she was in a dramatic movie scene about a queen exiling a peasant. I blinked. Okay, cool. Love that for us. I sat down on the couch, waited a bit, then followed her to the kitchen. She was cutting fruit aggressively, like the fruit insulted her ancestors. "Everything okay?" I asked. She didn't respond. She moved the knife a little faster. "Did something happen?" I tried again. She kept slicing. "Huh," I said. "I see communication is on vacation." Still nothing. "Fine. 2 can play this game." I stood there quietly, leaning against the fridge. After 20 seconds, she snapped. "I'm not ready to talk." "Oh," I said. "Got it. Should I schedule an appointment? Do you have office hours?" She glared at me, not a word, just a glare strong enough to burn toast. The next morning was even better. I walked into the kitchen and said, "Morning." She poured herself coffee. Not me. She sat down, opened her laptop, and put in her headphones like she was trying to erase my existence from her surroundings. Seriously? I asked. She didn't blink. What exactly are we doing here? A performance art piece? A meditation retreat? Nothing. Cool, I said, just checking. Didn't want to accidentally break whatever world record you're going for. Nothing again. And that's when it really hit me. This wasn't anger. This wasn't irritation. This wasn't even disappointment. This was strategy, a punishment, and I had no idea what the hell I was being punished for. But I was about to find out. By the time the second day of silence rolled around, I started feeling like a character in a nature documentary. Here we observe the modern wife in her natural habitat, communicating through sighs, glares, and strategic ignoring. I half expected David Attenborough to walk into my kitchen and start narrating. She wasn't just ignoring me, she was perfecting the craft. When I said good morning, she gave me the kind of look people give a spider in the shower. Annoyed, disgusted, and hoping it goes away on its own. I tried humor. Blink twice if you can hear me. She blinked 0 times. Commitment level. Olympic. She moved around the house like a ghost with opinions. If I stepped into the room she was in, she immediately found a reason to leave. If I sat down, she suddenly needed whatever object was 2 inches behind my head. If I breathed too loudly, she sighed dramatically, like my existence personally delayed her life goals. Around lunchtime, she hovered near the fridge, clearly waiting for me to finish making a sandwich so she wouldn't have to stand near me. Out of pure spite, I suddenly became a man who needed to examine every shelf. So, I said casually, "Are we still not talking? I'm just trying to plan my schedule." Her jaw tensed. Not a word. Okay, cool. Just making sure. Didn't want to miss the deadline for communication applications. She finally opened her mouth, and for a second, I thought we had a breakthrough. But no, she simply said, "Move." Damn, Mother Teresa spoke more warmly to dictators. That evening, things got even stranger. I sat on the couch watching TV, or trying to, because she walked past me 12 separate times. Not to do anything. Just to do it loudly, like she wanted to make sure I knew she wasn't leaving the room for me, she was leaving the room at me. Every time she passed, she seemed more irritated that I still existed. Around the 10th lap, I asked, "Are you trying to hit a step goal or summon a demon?" She didn't answer, but the glare she shot me could have melted steel. Then came the phone behavior, the real red flag. She used her phone like it was a life support machine, and she was emotionally attached to it more than to oxygen. It was always face down. Always locked faster than you can say suspicious. Always held at an angle like she thought I was a CIA agent trying to steal national secrets. And the smiling. Oh, the smiling. Every time her phone buzzed, she got this tiny smile. The kind she never gives me when I text her "love you" or "want anything from the store." Not a big smile, not obvious, but the kind where the corner of her mouth twitches like she's reading something flattering. Or someone flattering. The only time she didn't smile was when I walked into the room. Then she'd turn into a Victorian widow whose husband just insulted her family cow. Around 9 p.m., I tried one more time. "Anna, seriously, did I miss something? Did I commit some kind of invisible crime? Are you mad I didn't catch a fish big enough for Instagram?" She didn't look up. "I'm not ready to talk." "That's interesting," I said. "Because you seem very ready to talk to your phone." She froze for half a second. Then she stood up, grabbed her blanket, and left the room like I'd set off a fire alarm. That half-second freeze, though, that was new. That was the freeze of someone who heard the shot land. After she disappeared into the bedroom, I sat on the couch in silence, staring at the wall like a man solving a conspiracy theory. Because here's the thing, she'd given me the silent treatment before, sure. But this was crafted, polished, rehearsed. It had structure, pacing, technique, like she was following a script titled "How to Punish Your Husband in 10 Easy Steps." And the more I paid attention, the more I noticed the patterns. She didn't ignore me randomly. She ignored me precisely when she was on her phone the most. She wasn't angry. She was distracted. She didn't look hurt. She looked preoccupied. She wasn't cold. She was hiding something behind that cold. When I went to bed, she was already turned to the wall, fully cocooned, blanket wrapped around her like she was protecting herself from emotional pollution. I lay down next to her and said quietly, Good night." She inhaled sharply, not a word, not even a grunt. She was punishing me, sure, but she was also somewhere else in her head. Somewhere I didn't have access to. Somewhere she didn't want me to see. And that's the moment I realized something uncomfortable. This wasn't about the fishing trip, not even close. Whatever she was doing, whatever she was hiding, the silence wasn't a reaction. It was camouflage. By the middle of the third day, I had become an expert in my wife's silent treatment choreography. I could predict her movements better than the weather app predicts rain. She woke up silent, brushed teeth silent, made coffee silent, scrolled her phone not so silent, because that thing buzzed more than a beehive in mating season, and she always put it face down. Always. Even when she poured water, even when she microwaved something, even when she walked 3 steps to pick up a sweater, she took the phone with her like it was a newborn. At one point, I walked into the kitchen to grab a fork. Just a fork, not a secret government folder. She instantly flipped her phone upside down so fast she almost sprained her wrist. I stood there staring at her. She stared at the counter like she suddenly became fascinated with laminated wood. "Why the phone gymnastics?" I asked. Silence. "What, is it shy?" I added. More silence. She turned around and opened a cabinet that absolutely did not need opening. It was like watching someone pretend to look busy in a store when they realize you work there. She wasn't mad, she was nervous, and not nervous about me. Nervous about being caught. That's when I started paying closer attention. Around noon, she was in the living room, wrapped in her blanket again, scrolling with that tiny, secretive smile. Then the phone buzzed, not once, but repeatedly, quickly, like someone was rapid texting. Her smile got bigger. Then she bit her lip. Let me tell you something. In 6 years of marriage, the only time she bit her lip at her phone was when she found a cute dog video or a coupon for skincare. This wasn't that. She didn't see me standing there. I was behind her, walking toward the kitchen, and she was so absorbed in whatever conversation she was having that she forgot to be mad. She even let out a tiny laugh, a soft one, the one she hasn't used with me in months. Then she realized I was in the room. Her whole body jerked like I fired a shotgun behind her. She flipped the phone over so violently she almost threw it at the wall. Then her face went dead neutral, like an NPC switching back to idle animation. "Oh," I said, "so the vow of silence doesn't apply to your phone?" She inhaled sharply, still no words. "You know," I added, "if you're going to freeze me out, at least commit. It's weird when you're selectively mute." She stood up wordlessly, walked past me, and said, in the calmest, fakest voice I've ever heard, "I'm taking a shower." And she took her phone with her. Into the bathroom. Into the shower. Okay, nobody showers with their phone unless they're texting someone they shouldn't, or they're a surgeon on call, and my wife definitely isn't. After she shut the door, I finally exhaled. The pieces weren't clicking together. They were smashing into each other like bumper cars. Her behavior, her silence, her phone addiction, the smiles, the hiding, the dramatic overreaction to me going fishing. It wasn't about me at all. The fishing trip was just the perfect excuse to play the victim while her attention was aimed somewhere else. Or at someone else. I wasn't paranoid, I wasn't jealous, I wasn't insecure, I was paying attention. Later that evening, she came out of the shower wearing a robe, hair wrapped in a towel, smelling like lavender body wash, which she only uses when she's trying to feel pretty. Not for me, apparently. I was sitting on the couch. She avoided looking at me, walked to the table where she'd left her laptop and phone. And this was the moment everything snapped into place. Her phone buzzed. Once, twice. 3 times she picked it up. The screen lit up before she tapped it. And for the briefest, shortest moment, less than a second, I saw it. Not the whole message, just the notification banner. A name, a preview. Enough. It said, "Daniel, can I see you tonight? I miss you." Just like that. Not a coworker group chat. Not a cousin. Not a friend. Not a woman. A man. And a man who missed her. She gasped like she got punched, turned the phone over instantly. Too late. She tried to fake it, tried to act normal, tried to walk away. But I had already seen the truth. For the first time in 3 days, I spoke without sarcasm. "Anna," she froze. I stood up, walked toward her. slowly, calmly, without raising my voice. I'm going to give you one chance, I said quietly. One. To tell me who Daniel is? Her lip trembled. Her eyes darted to the side. And instead of answering, instead of defending herself, instead of saying anything, she whispered, "You shouldn't have looked at my phone." I laughed. Not a happy laugh. A laugh of pure disbelief. That's the line you're going with? She swallowed hard. You invaded my privacy, she repeated, trying to sound righteous, but failing so badly it was almost tragic. Your privacy? I said. You've been ignoring me for 3 days because I went fishing. Meanwhile, you're busy texting someone who misses you? She opened her mouth, closed it, opened it again like a goldfish rehearsing a speech. I can explain, she finally whispered. I nodded, calm, controlled, steady. Yeah, I said, you will. Because whatever she thought she was hiding behind that silence, it was about to come crashing down. Anna stood there clutching her phone like it was a life jacket and she was drowning. Her robe was half-tied, her hair still dripping from the shower, and her eyes were darting around the room as if she was searching for an emergency exit that didn't exist. I can explain, she repeated, voice shaking. Good, I said calmly. Then explain. She took a deep breath, clearly preparing some Oscar-level monologue about misunderstandings, emotional needs, spiritual journeys, whatever script she had ready. But when she opened her mouth, what came out was, He's just a coworker. Yeah, I said. Most of my coworkers have never told me they miss me. Maybe I work in the wrong field. That message was out of context, she insisted. Sure, I nodded. What's the context? He misses your spreadsheets? Her face twisted. This isn't funny? Good, I said, because I'm not joking. I've always been a calm guy, but in that moment I felt something new. Not anger, not heartbreak. Just clarity, cold, quiet clarity. The kind that shows you exactly who someone is, and exactly who you should have been all along. She kept talking, or trying to. It wasn't like that, she stuttered. So what is it like? I asked. Explain it to me like I'm stupid. You've been treating me like I'm stupid for 3 days, so it should be easy. Her mouth opened again, but the explanation never came. Not a single coherent sentence. Just a series of false starts and panicked breaths. I stepped back, giving her space. You've got nothing, I said. Not one honest word. That's not fair, she snapped suddenly. Oh, fair? I raised my eyebrows. Is it fair to ignore your husband for days while texting another guy? Is it fair to act like I'm the villain because I went fishing? Is it fair to smile at your phone like a schoolgirl while I'm trying to figure out what the hell I did wrong? She flinched. Good. Reality finally hit. I didn't do anything with him, she whispered. And yet, I said, he misses you. And you smile at your phone like he's the best part of your day? So either you did something or you wanted to. Pick one. She folded her arms, defensive posture activated. I just needed attention. Yep, I said. And instead of getting it from your husband, you went shopping at the coworker store. That's not... Anna, I interrupted. Stop, I'm not stupid. And I'm not playing whatever game this is. She dropped her head, staring at the floor as if an answer might be written on it. For a moment, the room was quiet. Not her silent treatment quiet, real quiet. The kind that follows after something breaks. She tried one last time. It wasn't supposed to go that far. So it did go far, I said. Thank you for confirming. She froze. Her eyes widened, realizing she'd stepped into her own trap. I shrugged lightly. Don't worry, I'm done asking questions you're not capable of answering. I walked past her, grabbed my keys from the table, and headed toward the door. Where are you going? She panicked. For a drive, I said. Since you've been on one for 3 days. You can't just leave. We need to talk. I turned, calm as a snowstorm. Oh, now you want to talk? I asked. Sorry, babe. Your appointment window closed 3 days ago. You should have booked earlier. She looked like she wanted to scream, but she couldn't decide between guilt, anger, or self-pity. Her face kept switching like a broken LED panel. I walked out. I didn't slam the door. Didn't shout, didn't say anything dramatic. I just left because sometimes the strongest move is the quiet one. I drove with the windows down, letting the cold air slap me awake. I wasn't crying, I wasn't shaking, I was weirdly calm. Like my brain had finally wiped all the emotional fog and replaced it with high-definition clarity. Because now I knew the truth. She didn't give me the silent treatment because she was mad. She gave it to buy herself time. Time to text him. Time to flirt. Time to feel wanted by someone else so she could punish me for existing. While I drove, I started connecting more dots. Her working late last week. The sudden obsession with her hair and nails. The gym sessions twice a day for stress. The new perfume she claimed she got as a sample but never showed me the bottle of. None of it hurt. It just made sense. When I came back home an hour later, she was sitting on the couch, eyes red, tissues everywhere. The classic, look how fragile and emotional I am battlefield. She stood up the moment I walked in. "Can we please talk?" she whispered. I walked past her, calm as ever. "We will," I said, "but not on your terms anymore." She blinked. "What does that mean?" "It means I'm done being managed. I'm done being manipulated. And I'm done being quiet while you play innocent." Her lip trembled again. "I made a mistake." "Yeah," I said, several, repeatedly. "I didn't mean to hurt you." "You didn't hurt me," I said. "You revealed yourself." Big difference. She sat down slowly, as if her knees stopped working. I didn't sit. I stayed standing, not for dominance, not for theatrics, but because it felt right. Because I wasn't going to have another conversation where she looked down at her phone while pretending to listen. "Anna," I said, "here's what's going to happen. Starting tomorrow, I'm going to find out everything. Not because I want revenge, not because I want drama, but because I want the truth. Fully. Completely, and you're done hiding behind silence." She opened her mouth to argue, but I cut her off. "You don't have to confess anything. Your actions already did." She closed her mouth slowly. I walked past her again, heading toward the bedroom. "Good night," I said. She whispered, "Please don't hate me." "I don't," I said. "I just finally see you clearly." And that clarity? It was only the beginning. I woke up the next morning feeling strangely rested. Not happy, not peaceful, just clean. Like my brain finally threw out all the trash it had been storing for months. I got dressed, made coffee, checked some work emails. Normal things. Meanwhile, Anna moved around the house like she was made of glass. Every step soft, every breath careful, like she was afraid the floor might yell at her. She kept watching me the way people watch wild animals on documentaries, fascinated, terrified, and desperately hoping I didn't bite. "Do you want breakfast?" she finally asked, voice tiny. "No," I said simply. And that one word hit her harder than a full argument. She swallowed. "Can we talk now?" I sipped my coffee. "Sure, start talking." She opened her mouth, and nothing came out, just air. She looked like she rehearsed an apology all night in front of the mirror, but forgot all the lines as soon as the actual audience showed up. I didn't mean for it to get this far," she whispered. "Stop saying that," I replied. "If I hear that line one more time, I'm sending you an invoice for emotional cliches." She winced but kept going. "I was lonely and I felt like you weren't paying attention to me and..." I raised my hand. "No, we're not doing the poor me monologue. I didn't stop paying attention. You just developed an addiction to outside validation. There's a difference." She sat down, shoulders curled forward, eyes watery. It would have looked tragic if I didn't know how good she was at performing sadness when she needed to redirect a narrative. "I swear I didn't sleep with him," she said. "I didn't ask," I replied. She blinked hard. You don't believe me?" "I believe you probably didn't," I said. "But not because of loyalty, because you're too scared to actually cross the final line. You like the attention, the flirting, the emotional rush. It's cheating light, all the thrill, none of the immediate consequences." She covered her face with her hands. "I'm so stupid." "You're not stupid," I said. "You're selfish. Big difference. Stupid people make accidental mistakes. You knew exactly what you were doing." She lowered her hands. "I want to fix this." "Good," I said. "Start by being honest." She nodded quickly, too quickly, like a student desperate to please the teacher after getting caught cheating on a test. So I asked the questions calmly, one after another. "How long have you been talking to him?" A few months? How often? Every day. Did you hide the notifications? Yes. Did you tell him about our issues? Yes. Did you flirt? She hesitated, then nodded. A little? A little? I repeated. Your phone lit up like a Christmas tree. That wasn't a little. That was a whole damn festival. She looked down at her hands. I know. Why him? I asked. Her voice cracked. Because he made me feel special. I almost laughed at how predictable the line was. He made you feel special? I said. Anna, the bar is low. A stranger giving you a compliment doesn't mean your marriage is broken. It means you didn't bother to tell me something was missing. You went shopping elsewhere instead of going to the actual store? She wiped tears that weren't fully formed yet. Rookie acting mistake. I want us to work, she said. I nodded slowly. Here's the thing. I'm not interested in saving something you aren't willing to be honest about. So we're going to do this my way. She swallowed hard. Oh, okay. You're going to show me the entire conversation thread with him? Her eyes went wide like I had suggested human sacrifice. I can't, she whispered. There it is, I said. The truth. No, it's private. It's embarrassing. No, I corrected. It's incriminating. She covered her face again, shaking her head. I don't want you to see how stupid I sounded. How desperate. I don't want you to hate me. You already said I shouldn't hate you, I replied. I told you, I don't, but I want the truth. And you're still choosing to hide behind shame instead of honesty. More tears, real ones this time. You're going to lose me, she whispered. No, I said, you already lost the version of me who tolerated this. Now you get the version who sees everything clearly. That landed. I watched her flinch like I'd hit her with a full confession. She took a deep, shaky breath and unlocked her phone. Her hand trembled the whole time. She hesitated one last second, looked up at me with terrified eyes, and held the phone out. Here, she whispered. I didn't take it. Put it on the table, I said. She placed it down like it was a bomb with a sensitive trigger. I opened the chat, scrolled, scanned. I didn't look for the worst. I looked for the truth. And it was all there, the compliments, the flirting, the emotional intimacy she never bothered offering me, the venting about our marriage, her complaining that I don't understand her, her telling him he makes her feel alive, him telling her she deserves better, her replying with a heart emoji, and then the message I already saw, I miss you. She watched my face the entire time, desperate to read my expression. I didn't give her one. When I finished, I put the phone face down on the table. She whispered, say something. You want something dramatic? I asked. A big speech? Tears? Breaking plates? That's not me. She swallowed. Then what do you feel? I looked straight at her. I feel done, she gasped. Done? You're leaving? When I said, I feel done, she gasped like I slapped her with a dictionary. Done? You're leaving? She whispered, voice trembling. I nodded slowly, calm, controlled, like someone who finally decided to stop babysitting a grown woman pretending to be confused by her own actions. Yes, I said. I'm leaving. She staggered back a step, like her knees forgot how to function. Wait, what do you mean? You're just walking out? I'm done being the bad guy in the story you write for other men, I said. I'm done being punished for doing nothing while you're out there getting emotional fireworks from someone who isn't me. Her lips trembled. I told you, I didn't sleep with him. Oh, congratulations, I said. Bare minimum achieved? Gold star. She flinched. I stood up the same way you stand up when your Uber arrives. Not angry, not emotional, just finished. She blocked my way with her arms spread weakly. Please, can we at least talk before you leave? We are talking, I said. And all you've done is prove my decision right. Her voice cracked. You're throwing everything away over a few messages? No, I corrected. You threw everything away. I'm just acknowledging the trash. Her breath hitched. Tears finally fell. The real kind now, not the rehearsed, look at me being fragile kind. I can fix it, she begged. I'll block him, delete everything, change jobs if I have to. You should have thought about that before heart emoji became your primary form of communication, I said. She sobbed harder. I didn't mean to replace you. I shrugged. Intent doesn't erase actions. Then I walked past her. She grabbed my arm, gently, desperate. Don't leave. Please, I can explain. I can be better. I pulled my arm back. Not roughly, just firmly. Boundaries finally installed. Anna, I said quietly, you ignored me for 3 days so you could talk to another man. You punished me for going fishing while you were on a date. And you lied so easily it barely slowed your pulse. She covered her mouth, crying into her hands. I grabbed my jacket from the chair, my keys from the table. Her voice cracked. Where are you going to go? Anywhere, I said. Everywhere. Somewhere I'm not being treated like a background character in your emotional drama. She choked out. Will you come back? I paused at the door. Not tonight, I said. Maybe not ever. Her knees gave out and she slumped onto the couch, sobbing into a pillow like the world had ended. I walked outside, closed the door quietly, no slamming, no theatrics, and the cold air hit my face like a reset button. I paused at the door. And for the first time in a long time, I felt light. Not free of her, free of the manipulation, free of the guilt she trained me to carry, free of the silence she weaponized. She gave me silence to punish me, but her silence only showed me the truth I'd been ignoring. I didn't leave because she was silent. I left because she used that silence to hide another man. And that was the moment I realized I wasn't walking out on a marriage. I was walking out of a lie. The silence she weaponized. Free of the silence she weaponized. Free of the silence she weaponized. She gave me silence. 3 months later, my life looks nothing like it did the night I walked out of that house. The divorce went faster than I expected. She tried the let's slow down and think this through route at first. Then the we can do counseling route. Then the class. But here's the thing. By the time the papers were on the table, I wasn't emotionally negotiating anymore. I wasn't trying to explain why I was hurt or prove why her actions mattered. I was just done. She cried at the first meeting. She got angry at the second. We signed. I walked out. No dramatic last glance, no movie scene. Just a pen scratch and a door closing. The funniest part? She texted me a week after the divorce went through. I miss you, she wrote. The same line her coworker sent her. I stared at the screen for a few seconds and realized just how empty those words were when they came from someone who only misses you once they lose control of you. So I didn't answer. Not out of hatred, out of indifference. That's when I understood I'd actually moved on. I rented a small apartment at first. Nothing fancy. 1 bedroom, a scratched table, a couch that's seen better days. But it was quiet, the good kind. No staged silences. No tension sitting in the corners of the room. The only thing judging me was a dying houseplant I kept forgetting to water. I also started therapy. Not because I was broken, but because I don't want to repeat the same patterns with someone else someday and end up ignoring my own red flags just because I don't want to be dramatic. From mutual friends, I heard that Daniel didn't exactly turn into her fairy tale happy ending. Apparently, once the drama of secret texting was gone and real life walked in, he suddenly wasn't that emotionally available. Something about being too busy and not ready for anything serious. I didn't feel satisfied when I heard that. I didn't feel vengeful joy. Mostly I felt confirmation. She gave me silence to punish me, but the silence only made it easier to hear the truth I've been ignoring. If you felt this story hit hard, drop a like, subscribe for more, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support keeps Steelheart beating.